Hey Bookends! Long time no see. Welcome to a 10-minute book review. I'm 10. Today's book review is going to be on Roaring by Lindsey Duga. This does it no justice. I'm going to put a picture of it up so you can see it. And it's beautiful, full, blazing color. So to start off every book review, we like to give a star point, as in out of 10 stars, how many stars this particular book garner, and a rating, as in if this was a movie or a TV show, what would it be rated? Starting off with the star point, this book is a solid 7. It was a really good read. We really enjoyed it, and we're going to go into why I didn't quite make it to a 10, but it's still an awesome read to consider. For a rating, we rate this somewhere petering between PG and PG-13. We couldn't decide which one it should be. There is mention of gunplay, there is mention of violence, however, it isn't gory violence. Like when someone gets shot, it just mentions that someone was shot, and it kind of gently mentions the aftermath of that. And when I say gently, I mean, mention that someone's bleeding, but it won't mention that their guts are hanging out or eviscerated or anything like that. So it's no more gory than someone getting shot in an old gangster film. And you just see like red on their suit. Like it's no more gory than that. But there is mention of gunplay, and there is actual gunplay, so we kind of petered between PG-13. So jumping right on in, the two main players in this book are Eris. Eris is, well, E-R-I-S, I believe. She is what would be considered a siren. Just to bring you into this world a little bit, and this is something I love that the author did. So there are people who are Shamaras, basically. I'm saying that wrong. I know that I am. But they are partially mythological creature and partially regular human. How this is achieved isn't by magic or anything of that nature. It's achieved through medical science. So the theory is that these mythological creatures actually existed at some point in the past. That they weren't just mythological, that they were actual physical beings in this world. And once they became extinct, their bones or what have you were still available, like, fossilized, still here. And the theory is that if you take the bones or whatever part of this being that gave it its power originally, and put that into a regular human being, that human being will possess that power, but there also be downsides to it. So, yeah. We start off with Eris. She is a siren. I'm sorry, that's my husband coughing up a lung in the other room. No, he's not dying. He probably just swallowed something the wrong way. You okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
He's okay. So, yes, she is a siren, and she is a young adult. I believe she is either 19 or 18, something like that. And she is a singer in a speakeasy that her adoptive mom owns. And the interesting thing is, she sings beautifully, but she does not talk. And no one seems to think of that as odd. So the patrons who are there on a daily basis, they understand she does not talk. Her friends who work there, who are kind of like her brothers, understand she doesn't talk. The barkeep, who is like an uncle to her, doesn't talk. Understands she doesn't talk. Everyone just understands that she doesn't talk, but she sings. So one night, now none of these are spoilers, because these are setups at the beginning of the book, so none of it's a spoiler. But one night, these college kids come in, and I forget if they're in Yale or somebody's Ivy League in Boston. And they come in, they hear her singing. One of the boys has it hot for her, and he's like, hey, I want to kick it to you, or however they would say it back in the 1920s. And she indicates that she is not interested. He persists. The guy behind the bar, who acts like her uncle, basically tells him, lay off, brush, you're not interested. And college kid can't take no for an answer. He gets into a fight with the guy who's like her uncle. He goes to shoot the guy who's like her uncle. And she's like, oh no, this can't happen. And so she finally says a word. She says, stop. I don't even think she yelled it. I think she just spoke the word stop, I want to say. And not only did the guy stop, and everyone else in the club stop, he shot off the gun, and the bullet stopped. Stopped where it was. When everything came back to normal, the bullet fell, and everyone just assumed that the gun misfired, and it was just a happy coincidence. But there was a secret agent in the room at the time, and he wasn't there for prohibition. So, you know, these speakeasies weren't supposed to be open because of prohibition, like no one could drink liquor and everything, but there was an agent in there, and he wasn't there caring about the liquor. So, we find out more about this organization in the book, and it's called the Specialized Crime Organization Division, I believe. Yeah, Specialized Organized Crime Division, or the SOCD. And they aren't just out for like mobsters, like your average Al Capone and stuff like that. They're not caring about them. They're out for your gargoyle mobsters, your so the mobsters aren't just mobsters anymore. Some of them are actually actively taking people who either agree or don't agree, just actively taking people and forcefully turning them into these half mythical creatures to be able to do their bidding for them. This division helps to, I don't want to say prevent, because they don't do anything to stop it, because I don't think this is something that is stoppable, but they do their best to prevent the people who have been made this way from becoming like some kind of a danger to everyone else. And they arrest them, basically, whether they have done anything wrong or not. They arrest them because basically their existence outside of a prison cell is a problem. So we meet a guy by the name of Colt. He is a young agent, one of the best, and of course we're going to get one of the best because it's the book. You're either going to get one of the best or one of the worst, but never one of the mids. So we get Colt, and Colt is pulled into the office. He says, listen bro, we just found out that there's a siren alive, and these are like the most dangerous creatures that exist. Because they can't just hurt people. They can make people do whatever it is they want. They can make the environment around them acquiesce to them. So he's like, wow, this is special. This is a big job. Okay. And this other dude is in the room. He's a basilisk. So that is a person who is half human. I don't want to say half because the percentages aren't exactly based in that way. Someone doesn't necessarily end up being half one thing, half another. They're a combination. I'll put it like that, a combination, an admixture of one being and another being. So this person is an admixture of human and snake. And a basilisk is a mythical creature who could basically give someone the death stare, literally, like look at someone and kill them. So he has to be careful of how he looks at people and how long he looks at people. Also, he is cold-blooded, so he gets cold easily. So, yeah, he doesn't believe that Colt should get this mission because, one, sirens are dangerous, and two, he's kind of wet behind the ears, even though he's done a lot, but he's still, like, new to the organization. The guy who heads up the organization, who has no powers at all, not that I've seen, I don't know, could be wrong, but, yeah, he says, nah, Colt gonna go, because I said Colt gonna go. So Colt goes, and he ends up flirting with Eris to try to get her to talk to prove that she is a siren, because he's looking at this girl and he don't believe that this girl's a siren. And to kind of give you some visuals, I don't know if the author made this art herself or she had this art commissioned for the purpose of advertising, but I just want to show you like a picture that she put up on her Instagram of the two main characters. So this is Eris and Colt. So she's like a redhead, he's like a blonde. They're supposed to be relatively handsome and pretty for the time that they're in. So yeah, back to the story. So yeah, he tries to flirt with her and she falls for it to a degree. Long story short, he arrests her. Now, I'm not going to put any spoilers in this. This is going to be spoiler free because I want you to be able to enjoy it if you would like to read it. Some things that irritated me about the book. Well, first of all, this was a good read. So it wasn't a bad read. If you like Turner Classic Movies, if you like old-timey books, if you like books that have a fantasy element as well as a historical element that doesn't bring you back into the 1400s, something that is more common era, more common era, but still has a fantasy element to it without it having a demonic tinge or having a spiritistic tinge or a magical tinge, this is good. Because it is fantasy, it is based in modern era times, and there's no magical elements to it. It is medical science and, of course, whatever physical science is made in this world. Now, I forgot to mention that Colt is a dragon, which I did not see coming. He's always hot all the time, makes his own heat, and I was thinking that they were going to do like some kind of 1920s Hellboy. And I was not for that. I thought they were going to say he was like some kind of half demon or something. Because I was still waiting for the magical shoe to drop. Because we hate magic over here. Hate it. I need a science. I need a reason for why the things are happening. I don't want someone to just say a few words and something happens. I need a reason for it. So we hate magic over here. We want science over here. Even if the science doesn't make sense in the real world. If the science makes sense in that world, we are all for it. So yes. So it turns out he is part dragon, and for some reason wings are very bad in this book, as you will see later on in the book when something really tragic happens. No spoilers, but I don't think it'll make you cry. It will hurt your feelings a bit, though. It will hurt your feelings a little bit. But yes, some of the things that we weren't a fan of. Eris is this really powerful being, right? She is a siren. She can legitimately speak into the world what she wants to happen. There is an instance where the guy who arrests her, Colt, has been shot and is bleeding and is dying, and she tells him to stop bleeding. And he stops bleeding. And he's in pain, and she tells him, no, you're not. And he's not anymore. So she has the power to be able to control the world around her just by the things she says. So she's very powerful. And when it comes to some random dude, I don't care if he's hot or not, some random dude saying, okay, well, chick, you about to go to jail. And she's like, well, for nothing, just because you breathing. No! I couldn't understand why she was so willing to allow herself to be taken in when she knew she had done nothing wrong. She knew she'd done absolutely nothing wrong. There's even one point where she's like, maybe I am a monster. Girl, be a monster. Who cares? You not hurting nobody. Be a monster. Be a monster. Elmo's a monster. Ain't nobody trying to arrest Elmo. Cookie Monster is a monster with an addiction. Ain't nobody trying to arrest Cookie Monster. Be a monster. Be Super Grover. Be a monster superhero. But I didn't understand why she acquiesced so quickly to the idea that even though she had not done anything horrible in her life, that she was in some way going to facilitate some horrible act at some point. Like, if she had never been a monster at any point in her life, why would she begin to be a monster after she's told, you're a monster? Also, I don't feel as though she used her powers enough, especially towards the beginning. I do understand. So in the book, when you use your power, there is some, because there is an admixture of this mythical creature and this fallible human body, there are consequences to using one's power. She's never used her power as much as she ended up doing towards the middle end to the end of the book. So that was tiring her out. That was causing her pain. What I did not understand was, why didn't she use her powers more towards when she met Colt? Like, no, you know what? That's not fair to say, because when he did have her tied up, she did say, let me go. and he was about to let her go, but he had received some kind of training that made it so that he could resist her to a degree. The book doesn't go into how deep the training is, but my battery died, so I am back. Yes. So she did use her powers to a small degree, but I was just towards the beginning, but I was just annoyed that she acquiesced so quickly to saying that she's gonna be a monster. I was like, girl, be a monster, be a monster, be a monster. Also too, the epilogue. So for most of the book, we are with Eris or with Colt. We're either hearing it from either one of their perspectives. Now, it's not in the first person, it's that I, me, and things like that. It is in the second person, but it is through them. I didn't like the epilogue because okay, here's the thing. There's a lot of action in this book, and the action is awesome. They go from one situation to another situation to another situation. Eris is naive, and she kind of doesn't make the best decisions, so it gets you angry with her, but it also makes a good catalyst for the book to continue moving forward. But the whole book was basically a battle in a way. The whole book was action, the whole book was adventure, and so for the story to kind of end with them riding off into the sunset, it is a happy ending. So if you're afraid of one of the main characters being killed off, it's not that kind of a book. It is definitely like one of the old-timey movies where the hero and the heroine kind of live. So it is a happy, there are some parts that will make you feel sad, but there aren't any parts that should make you cry. But yes, I think that the ending was too tidy. It was too the ending was too, the bow was wrapped too nicely, it was wrapped too tightly, it was wrapped too well. I was hoping that these two characters, I was hoping it'd be a next book, a trilogy, a duology, something, an adventure, like something else would happen. So if this is just the first book in a series, then that's cool. I would raise this up to like an 8 and look forward to the next book. If this book is a one and done, then it would remain a 7, because it feels like there should have been more at the end. Like the ending was good, the epilogue kind of hurt in a way, because it was too nicely done. I don't wish evil on anyone, but since these characters are fake, I would like to see more conflict happening with them, not such a happy, tidy, goodnight kiss. But yes, overall it was a really good book, and we'd like to thank you all for sticking in with this review. We hope to see you again next week, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Bye, Bookends.